Red, white, and blue, motherfuckers. These colors don't shine. You wasted. You wasted. Yeah, this was my intro idea. I don't know either. Hello everyone, welcome back. My name is Izzy. If you are new, hello. This is not my room. This is my boyfriend Grant's room. I forgot to film an intro. Evident by what you just saw. I wanted to read American classics for the week. I picked 3 classics from this list. Happy 4th of July! That's all I got. Let's go to the first book. I'm in my car. Please ignore it running. It's so hot. So I started reading Little Women. So far so good. I really enjoy it. I actually really don't know much about this story. I know a little bit because like movie adaptations and stuff like that, but I've never read it and I don't know a whole lot about it. If you don't know what Little Women is about, it is basically about this family during the Civil War and about these 4 sisters, and it kind of just follows their life. I'm guessing pre-Civil or during the Civil War and after the Civil War. It's good. I don't know. I don't feel like I have like a whole lot to say. There's a lot more dialogue in this book than I thought, which is really surprising and really awesome. It's so easy to read, which is great. I'm not far enough in yet where it's like, oh yeah, this is getting crazy or whatever, you know. That's it. That's all I have so far, and I'll update you whenever I can. I love that sound. I don't know what it is, the ASMR of it. I am updating you because I am 50% of the way through Little Women, which is crazy. It's really good. I really enjoy it. I like don't have any like strong feelings about it, but I really like it. I think if you want to get into classics, this is a very easy classic to get into. It's super easy to understand what is going on too, because I think that is a lot of people's biggest fear of getting into classics is they're not going to understand what's going on. I was just so curious because I was thinking, I'm like, when was this book published? It's so easy to read that I was like, was this in my brain? I was like, was this like in the 1920s when this, or like the 20s, or was it in like the 20th century? I don't know. When did the 20th century start? Oh, it started in we're not in the 20th century anymore. Oh duh, we're in the 21st century. You didn't see that. When was Little Women? 1868? That's crazy. Wow, I did not know that. I mean, there's still like some things in here that are obviously like sayings and stuff that we don't say anymore, and words that we don't use anymore for the same references and stuff like that, if you catch my drift. I do kind of know what's going to happen because I know kind of the story of Little Women. I don't know how much of it is going to be like surprising to me, but I am enjoying it and I am enjoying reading it / listening to it. I'm pleasantly surprised. Not that I thought this book would be bad, but I'm more pleasantly surprised in this aspect that it's like, oh, this is like really easy to understand. There are classics where you read them and you're like, what the f are they saying? What the f are you trying to say? Use your words. And you're not using them correctly. Use it better. But so far, so good. And that's all I got. Okay, bye. Oh my god, this happened so fast. Wait, oh my god. Chapter ruined me. Oh, that last line hurt so bad. I knew it was going to happen, and that last paragraph killed me. I don't know how you can move on past that. That's such a beautiful paragraph. I'm not doing well. I'm not doing well. I just finished Little Women. Who is even the author? Louisa May Alcott. So I just finished it. How do I feel about it? I liked it. It was really good and I really liked it. Obviously you saw me cry my eyes out in one part. But it was really good and I really did enjoy it. I did feel like these like characters felt very, they had very distinct personalities, and that's because it's kind of explained over and over that these people have this certain type of personality, but it's also shown that. So I feel like these characters are very vibrant because of all of their different personalities that they have. Overall, I really enjoyed it. I really liked it. The next book I'm going to be reading is The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger. I've actually never read this book. I know a lot of serial killers like this book for whatever reason. I really don't know what this book is about. I guess we're gonna start this one next. I do want to update you and say I am 50% through Catcher in the Rye. So far, not like a lot has really happened. Our main character has flunked out of school. He's kind of gallivanting around New York. That's it. I am enjoying, I don't know honestly if I'm enjoying this. It's not bad. It's easy to read. Point. It feels like the main character is like talking to you as the reader. Like the narrator is our main character, Holden, and it feels like the way that he like narrates the story, it feels like he is talking to you and he's like recounting a story to you. Imagine like you're talking to a friend, and sometimes when you talk to that friend, especially me, I am this friend. You're talking with a friend and they're recounting the thing that just happened to them. But, you know, sometimes people are not very good storytellers. Me. You like go off on tangents and then you talk about little side things. That's exactly what our main character does. He like kind of goes off into random tangents about like something that has happened, and then he kind of pivots a little bit into like a random tangent. Or he like talks about something that's completely not point of the story at all. And you're just like, where are we going with this? And then he's like, well, anyways, and then he goes back into his story. I like that part because I feel like it's a very realistic. I want to Google how many times in this book the word phony is mentioned. There are so many times, or goddamn. It's so many times where you're like, okay, I think you're the phony here. Crazy. Our main character is just like a little like unhinged. He lies a lot. There's like a one passage in this at the beginning of this book where he's like, oh, I hate liars, I hate phony people, I hate this, that, and the other. Okay, I hate people who are boring and whatever. It's funny because I hate phonies, and then the next sentence is, I love lying. Wouldn't a liar also be a phony? I think I like it. I mean, I'm enjoying it enough to keep continuing it. Every time I have picked it up to read it, it's been quite fast for me. I don't know if I've told you guys this, but I told my dad this. I said it reminds me kind of like almost an early 2000s teenage angst not rom-com, coming of age story. So I keep getting this voice stuck in my head. Hi, my name's Holden and I hate my life. My parents, they're freaking phonies. That's the voice that's stuck in my head right now whenever I read this book. And I don't know why. I'm cracking myself up, honestly. It's not the book, it's just me. I'm really funny. Anyways, well, while I have you, in the same breath, I've also started reading or rereading East of Eden by John Steinbeck. God, there's so many things in this book that I forgot happened, and I'm just like, oh my god. This book is crazy. Just one main character that we kind of follow named Kathy, which if you've been on this channel and you've heard me talk about this book, you know how I think Kathy is probably one of the best villains I have ever read about. I think she's just purely evil, but also she's a very complex character at the end of it. She's so interesting. She's so nasty. I hate her so much. But like there are certain things where you're like, you see these like points that you're like, well, I kind of get it. But then there's some points you're like, oh, she's just plainly evil. Like she's just terrible. She's a terrible person. Great book. I already know I'm gonna love it, because I already do love it. Well, I'm actually going to probably continue reading The Catcher in the Rye. So last night I finished The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger. This book is basically no plot, just vibes. It is about our main character named Holden, who just flunked out of school and is kind of gallivanting around New York in kind of a quest to kind of figure out like what kind of the meaning of life a little bit. He's kind of going through like this existential crisis, asking these people like, why should we be doing this? Why should we be doing that? What's the point of this? What's the point of that? Nobody really takes him seriously and nobody really cares enough to answer him because they just think he's a kid. There's a lot of themes in this book, which I can see why it's a classic, and a lot of like literary classes discuss this book, basically about like going from your childhood to your adulthood, and it's kind of also the loss of innocence. I could see why if you're just a plot person, this is not going to be your book. I did enjoy it though. I did understand why a lot of people didn't like it, but I liked it and I thought it was quite enjoyable. There are times where I was getting a little bit bored because he really is like, after he leaves school, he really is just kind of like going around New York and trying to talk to these people and kind of understand, kind of basically have people try and listen to him, but nobody wants to listen to him because he's just a kid. And also, The Catcher in the Rye is a really interesting title name because it's kind of him explaining that he wants to be this person, this kind of this giant of like kids running around in like rye fields and kind of holding on to them so they don't lose their innocence and they don't lose that childlike kind of wonder after they reach adulthood. So he kind of wants to preserve time almost and like stop time to keep his childlike innocence. Now that you like really like have to think about it, it is really sad. There are points where you do feel really bad for Holden because like I said, nobody wants to listen to him. He's having this kind of mental crisis, but it was a good book. I liked it. I still have one more book to go through, so let's finish up East of Eden. Gwen's putting on socks.
$10 feet finder. Hit me up.
No child. My head hurts. How does your head feel?
Great.
Great.
Mentally, I feel alive.
I'm alive, but I'm dead. What is that? What is that? What do we think that is?
It's just water.
It's just fire. Oh, I thought I saw a duck. I'm done. Let's do a quick wrap up of all of the books that I read in this video. First book was Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. The points that I had mentioned, it's very easy to read, quick story, I feel like. The only thing is it is pretty long. It's like 600 pages, I think, but I really liked it. I thought the story was very endearing. Overall, I think I'm gonna give this book 4 stars. The next book I read was The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger. Liked it, like I said, points where I was a little bit bored, only because our main character really isn't doing a whole lot. Overall, I think I'm gonna give this one a 3.5 star. I really did like it though. And then lastly, the book that you just saw me finish, East of Eden by John Steinbeck. This is actually a reread for me. I like already knew that I loved this book. This is probably one of my absolute favorite classics I've ever read. There's a lot of themes also in this book, but there is like, I think, an actual plot driving the story. These characters are so vibrant, they're so real. They make you feel so many different emotions and so many things, like you feel so bad for them and then you hate them and then you love them. These characters are just so well done. And if I have to be kind of nitpicky about it, it is long. Like I feel like sometimes the story does feel like it gets dragged out a little bit, but I don't think it gets dragged out that much. It's a long book. Maybe read it in increments like I did, but it's a really great story and I really enjoy it. 5 stars, still keeps the 5-star title. If you take anything away from this video is read classics. If you want to, you don't have to. You don't have to read classics. But I think that you shouldn't be intimidated by reading a classic because there are some really good ones out there. And if you don't want to read a classic, that's okay too. But these American classics were pretty good and I understand why they're American classics. God save, whoa, that's not Thank you so much for watching this video and I will see you all in the next one.